welcome. If you don't know who I am or don't recognize this face, my name is Annalicia, and on this YouTube channel, I go by Love in Motion. Typically on my YouTube channel, I like to talk about self-awareness, self-growth, self-actualization, and self-empowerment. Today is absolutely no different, so let's get into it. Hi! I have started a series on here called my Unhinged Soliloquies, where I talk and ramble on with no real direction, just influenced by whatever is going on in my life. I used to do check-in videos on my Instagram, so that is kind of what this is on this channel. So today I was inspired by D'Angelo Wallace. He uploaded a video to his YouTube channel, and he talks about his struggles with his mental health, specifically his depression. And he goes on to say that for him, happiness isn't a reality, and that he is going to most likely live with depression for the rest of his life, as he has had it all of his life. And he discusses how when he was 4 years old, he still felt this way, and he was always hoping that as he got older that he would grow out of it, because a lot of the media tells us that there is a way to overcome these things, which isn't always a reality for everyone. And I feel like I related so much to his video because I also was a child who was very, very sad. I remember being 6 years old, locking myself in my room and crying to myself multiple times, and I still do that to this day. So I do have like this level of sadness that I've never seemed to overcome. And in his video, and where I got the title of this video from, he says, I didn't get less sad, I just got older. And he talks about how he has just learned to accept that this is the way he is, and he's also learned better coping skills on how to deal with him feeling that way. He talks about how he can come on and work and still come home and feel the same way, and I relate to that so heavily. And as someone who's very hard on themselves, I actively try to, do things for myself to not feel that way, or to not spiral, or, be hyper emotional, because I can be. But I have learned that I have to allow myself that space and that grace. And that's something that's really hard to grapple with when society tells you that you can't be lazy, that you can't be overly emotional, that you are less valued because of the way that you have to deal with your own mental health and your own emotions. And he basically talks about radical acceptance, which is something that I've been learning about in my 20s, and I'm 28 now. But a lot of my 20s, I've definitely been very, very hard on myself, and I can recall always thinking that things are going to be better in the future. But we also have to recognize and have compassion with ourselves to realize that this here and now is what is happening, and we have to accept it. And I have learned better coping skills, especially with my anxiety. In the past year, I think my anxiety has shifted. It's not as intense as it used to be, and that's something that's very different from me, because if you're somebody who has anxiety, it's very like your body reacts to things. You don't always know the reason. And so I've been a lot less anxious, and when I do get anxious, I can more easily mold myself and what I need in that moment. But the depression thing is interesting, because he talks about this idea that's going around social media of, are you a happy person with sad moments? Are you a sad person with happy moments? And he talks about how he's essentially a sad person. And I actually, like, when I've been watching and listening to people talk about about this specific perception, I was like, I really am a sad person. Like, I'm deeply saddened person. Like, I get affected by the outside world very deeply, and I also take on so much internally. Like, I'm really hard on myself. I'm extremely hard on myself, and I can't like emphasize that enough. But you know, my anxiety and my depression go hand in hand, because if I feel like I'm not accomplishing the things that I want to accomplish, then I go into this, you know, like deep sadness. But the sadness, one, stems from like childhood things, yes, but also stems from the pain of others. I recently watched The Perks of Being a Wallflower again, and that movie perfectly expresses what it's like to be hurt as a child, right? Just in general, like if you have any kind of trauma, to be hurt and to carry that hurt, you see hurt every single where you go. And you just want to help those people, but you don't even know how to help yourself at those young ages. And so you just become a wallflower, and you just notice it, and you want to stand up for it. And as I've, you know, come into adulthood and I've done things in advocacy, and while I have started a business that is about healing, at the heart of it, I truthfully do feel like a sad person with happy moments, although I do have a lot of happy moments. I'm very easily amused. And that's one thing I do love about myself. I love the arts. I love music. I love enjoying nature. Like, those things help me heal. Those things I am so completely grateful for, because I can get myself into happier spaces, and I can have very euphoric moments by just taking a walk outside. And so I think, going back to D'Angelo Wallace and what he's talking about, is this radical acceptance. You have to accept the good and the bad, because at the end of the day, there's always going to be something more. There's always going to be something you can improve. There's always going to be something that you don't have, and there's always going to be a lack somewhere. But you have to accept the way that you are. And when you accept the bad, you're also accepting the good things and the beautiful things. And I feel like that's one thing as I've gotten older that you just learn about the world and about yourself, because nobody else can heal you. Nobody else has to be with you 24/7. It's you. Me, myself, and I, okay? You can't unzip and come out of your bodysuit, as much as I wish we could do that. But yeah, I think that a lot of my sadness is also a gift, because you know, recognizing that sadness in others isn't always a bad thing. You can uplift, you can support, you can love people. And this channel is called Love in Motion for a reason. Love is an act. It's a choice that you make every single day. And you don't always have to act out of love. While I try to, I don't always. I get irritated in traffic just as much as the next person, if not more. I am a very big complainer. I'm trying to work on that. But it's all about perception. Oh my gosh, I can't talk. It's all about perception, because I can say all day I'm a complainer. I know I am. I complain. And sometimes I'm like, oh girl, reel it in. Reel it in, girl. But at the same time, people who complain more are more expressive about how they feel, which in turn allows more people to live a better life, because they can advocate for themselves. So I try to think about things like, not everything is black and white, and not everything is gray. Like, even things that are maybe negative about yourself can also be positive about yourself. I'm really good at expressing my emotions. I complain because I have to express something that I am experiencing. So it's really truly about like how you view things. And I think that society really is coming to like terms as grappling with like how to really deal with mental health, because it is different for everyone. And while some person may have only experienced depression once in their life, some of us experience it all day, every day. And some of us, it is a gift to still be here. We are winning by solely overcoming our thoughts, because a lot of us don't want to be here. And that's something that I experienced really heavily as a teenager and in my early 20s. I was very wanting to off myself, and I don't necessarily have those feelings anymore. I may get like more like intrusive thoughts about it, but I don't sit in that space a lot. But when I was in my younger years, I really did. And so I really truly think that when you deal with mental health, just persevering is enough. And you are still a valuable person regardless of the amount of productivity. I'm just saying that because that's what trigger for me. Productivity or whatever the case is. Like, you are still valuable. You are still a valuable person. And you shouldn't put your value in what you can accomplish. I'm just saying that because those are my triggers. Obviously, you can, think about that for whatever it is for you. I'm still learning about myself every day. I've learned that personal development is a trigger for me. But here I am having a channel about personal growth, because I am a complainer and I just want to understand myself and the world around me. And that's also a gift, because I get to connect with other people who may feel the same way as me. And I've expressed this multiple times, but connection is everything to me. Connection is everything to me. So that's my Ramble Fest. Thank you so much for showing up. This is a little bit of a short one. Enjoy.